I'd like to thank you all for coming out, supporting us on our 17th annual march to Downing Street. We'll be going into Downing Street to hand in our letter of demands. This is something that we have been striving for with every successive government, to try and find out how our loved ones died. We didn't lose them, they were killed by the hands of the state. All that we want, every one of these families are united in, is the truth. This is all we want, to know how our loved ones died and to get a public inquiry into how our loved ones died.
I am the uncle of Oscar Grant, the young man, again, that was killed on January 1st, 2009 at the Fruitvale BART station in Oakland, California.
My son, Olasheni Lewis, had a psychotic episode and went as a voluntary patient to the Bethlehem Hospital. And when he wanted to leave, they said no and called the police. And 11 policemen and women restrained him for about 45 minutes and killed him.
Sheku, as a young lad, he was met by the police on the street of Hayfield Road in Kirkcaldy on the 3rd of May, where he never came off that street alive. He was dead after he met the police by the bus station.
So this was just a matter of months ago. Have you had any answers?
No, we're still pushing. The investigation is still going on. We have so far found out that one of the officers at the scene had a violent and racist past.
How has it felt through these years?
Victimised.
Every single day.
Traumatised. Affects the whole family, grandchildren, other children. Affects your life. Just, you live it all the time.
Hi.
I was just saying that I'm sure you wouldn't want to be called such, but in a way you're one of the veterans of these demonstrations. You've been coming right from the beginning.
Yeah.
And 22 years now.
Well, 22 years my twin and 17 years for the United Family and Friends.
Tell me about your twin brother.
He was Leon Patterson. He wasn't a saint, but he went to Manchester for the day. Was accused of taking a till at British Home Stores, to which, mistaken identity, he was chased, arrested, held in a cell for 6 days and subsequently died. But they kept saying that you do know he did it to himself. He beat himself to death.
What's the journey been like this 22 years? Do you feel you've got justice?
No, none of the families have got justice, otherwise we wouldn't be here. If we had some form of closure, or at least some form of knowing what's happened to our loved ones, because it's all shrouded in secrecy, that none of us know exactly how our loved ones died. All that we know is we were presented with a coffin, and that's been the tops and the bottoms of every other family that you can see behind me. I mean, the numbers are swelling every single year that are new families joining the rank and file.
What do you say to a new family that turns up to the protest?
I'm sorry you've joined this family. What else can be said? You know, it's hard to listen to somebody else's pain when all you do is, and all of us, all family members, strive to ease that pain and ease that burden amongst other family members. But it's difficult when you've got the likes of the government, the police, right the way down to the inquest. Everything is stacked against you. It's hard. It's very hard.
What's changed in the last 22 years?
Nothing.
Has anything got better?
Nothing. We wouldn't be here. We've had more deaths. That's the only thing that's changed over the 22 years since the death of my twin.
Do you see a day where things will change and there'll be accountability?
I will see accountability and change when one of these family members sits on the panel that looks into deaths into custody. And until that happens, it will never be impartial.
I've just walked down this front line of this procession and a special guest for the UFFC protest from the United States. Why are you here?
I am here standing with these families because they have suffered an injustice as we have in America. And I believe today that in order for justice to be won, it must be a united effort put together with families, not just in the United States or not just with families in London, but families on an international basis.
How can the US and UK families work together, and how important is it?
Well, I would say that it's extremely important because what we have here is, again, a human rights violation of a police accountability. So even in America, when officers are not held accountable, we find the same here in London. Officers are not held accountable. Until we hold officers accountable for the murders they commit, these murders will continue to go.